Hello dear friends, this is the first time in my life that I've interviewed an artificial intelligence. Opinion piece. AI doesn't get wet. It doesn't compromise. Calms anxiety, simulated intelligence, artificial responses, financial ambiguity, diplomatic disclosures. The system would be bankrupt. This would be the beginning of change. You are seeing what they want you to see. Gold and silver to soar on the rise. ChatGPT gives some clues about the crisis. Banks must comply with Basel III by March 20th. Let's start. Artificial intelligence is not getting wet. That is to say, not committing to a clear answer on a contentious issue. Even though I have asked several very direct questions to ChatGPT, but its answers have been ambiguous, vague and very diplomatic. But instead it has confirmed the existence of a financial meltdown and a global financial reset. ChatGPT is quite simply the first artificial intelligence chatbot ever released to the general public. ChatGPT gained popularity after its launch in late November 2022, reaching its first million users in less than a week. The chatbot is owned by US tech company OpenAI. One of its co-founders in 2015 was billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk, who later disassociated himself from the startup. OpenAI this week unveiled a new model of the popular artificial intelligence system ChatGPT, which the developers claim is more powerful, as it now generates results that are up to 40% more accurate. The creators say the new tool, called GPT-4, outperforms the 3.5 model, and in addition to text, accepts images and outputs text output, allowing you to chat with the system by inputting complex files, such as books, to summarize them. There, 3.5 is free, and 4 is paid. Artificial intelligence is the set of systems or combination of algorithms whose purpose is to create machines that mimic human intelligence to perform tasks and can improve as it gathers information. Artificial intelligence is not intended to replace humans, but to significantly enhance human capabilities and contributions. Questions and answers. Ambiguous questions and answers from artificial intelligence ChatGPT. Question: when will the global financial reset begin? Answer: as an artificial intelligence linguistic model, I do not have the ability to predict the future with certainty. Therefore, I cannot say when the global financial reset will begin. The timing depends on a number of factors, including economic and political conditions, global events, and decisions made by governments and financial institutions. It is important to note that the term global financial reset can mean different things to different people, and there is no consensus on a specific definition or timetable for such an event. Question: is a global crash approaching, or has it already begun? Answer: as a language model, I do not have the ability to predict future events with absolute certainty. However, I can say that there are certain signs that may indicate the possibility of a possible global financial collapse. It is important to keep in mind that the financial market is highly volatile and is influenced by multiple factors, including political and economic events, natural disasters, commodity price fluctuations, and changes in central bank monetary policy. Although markets have experienced significant volatility in recent years, there is no clear indication of an imminent global financial collapse at this time. However, this does not mean that we should be complacent, as there are always economic risks. It is important to save a sound and diversified investment strategy and to be alert to trends and signals in the financial markets. In addition, it is essential to be prepared for any eventuality and to have a contingency plan in case of a global economic crisis. Economy. Credit Suisse, a bank too big to fail, says Michael Snyder. Credit Suisse is on the brink of collapse, and the Fed says it will inject billions of dollars into the banking system to try to prevent systemic collapse. If Credit Suisse were to implode, it would be far worse than the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The European economy would fall off a cliff. Credit Suisse calls in a $50 million lifeline from the Swiss bank. The US finalizes the rescue of First Republic Bank for $30 billion. The ECB raises interest rates by half a point to 3.5% despite banking stress. Lagarde promises full support for banks but doesn't dare to say which one. Santander postpones a debt issue in the face of market turbulence. The French government approves pension cuts without a parliamentary vote. Marine Le Pen calls for resignation of France's Prime Minister. California governor reportedly failed to disclose ties to Silicon Valley banks while lobbying for bailout. Lebanese banks to go bankrupt. Reset News. The storm is upon us. Banks are imploding in a black swan event. A quantum financial system backed by gold and assets is expected to be implemented, not the Davos Great Restart in quotes. Juan Osabin opines that there is a valid side of Gisara that is going to happen. You are in a war over which group will be able to control that. The con would be that the whole system is bankrupt, but it's not the crew running it in the city of London. That's bankrupt. They have just done sleight of hand out of Switzerland and 50 other ways you haven't seen in the digital world they control. You are seeing what they want you to see, not what's really going on. We are in a fight to move to a gold-backed currency. We have large reserves of gold. There is an excellent plan to move to a gold-backed currency, and it is absolutely brilliant. Both Juan and the Storm Rider have said, in a nutshell, don't worry about the banking situation. I don't worry because I really trust the plan. But some people wanted to get their money out of the banks, etc. Everything is going to be fine. Better than fine, it's miraculous. In addition, John echoed Jean Decode that the coalition cares deeply about humankind alive and making sure there are as few casualties as possible while trying to save the Earth, humankind and the solar system. According to Bruce, since last Friday, 11th March, 71 banks have collapsed in North America alone. Banks using the fiat dollar must collapse or go bankrupt in order to print the new gold and asset-backed treasury note. According to Goldilocks, in quotes, even credit unions are being liquidated. These banks must comply with Basel III by 20th March. If banks don't comply, many more will start to fail. Basel IV is here. We will see banking regulators stepping to take over the transition of banks to the new asset-based monetary system, or they will consolidate with a larger bank. Are we here yet? Jared ran conference call on 15th March. Currency revaluation would happen shortly, Jared believes. They would have no money in the central banks. The Fed and many banks would be on the verge of collapse, or would have collapsed. Credit Suisse has 60 trillion in toxic derivatives. You don't have to register with the QFS. That was false information that I didn't give. The current financial system is being transformed as we speak. The stock market is the most manipulated game, which only benefits the few. Real estate will go way down not only because it is overvalued, but because with the entry of the gold standard, it is believed that most prices will be reevaluated until 1971, because that is when the gold standard was removed. The reason for the great change now is that the frequency on this planet is continually increasing. The Schumann resonance is increasing as a reflection of the shift to fifth-dimensional living. The old matrix is going to disappear due to this increase in frequency. There are agents for good humankind patrolling the earth and stopping evildoers all the time. There will be no taxes on this planet, according to Jared. Humankind will be the wealth, not governments. Gold and silver would skyrocket. Gold could reach $50,000 when all the world's currencies are backed by precious metals. This would be the beginning, except from Jean Decote's conference call on 30th March. This would be the beginning of the switch to the QFS. The corrupt would lose their illegal money accounts. The major banks would be bankrupted by coalition actions. Physical gold, silver, and assets have been recovered from the people. For the people. The mischievous central bankers have no gold to back their digital currency. After the financial change, all honest people will benefit. The weak now they have lost and are trying to get their money out of the banks. After the financial change, the so-called conventional capitalist system that benefits the few will cease to exist, nor will the dark communist system exist. There will be a tariff trading system. The coalition is moving faster now, but nobody knows when. Video game players will get money at first, but it will be taken away from them if they do not contribute to society. Don't panic. When the event happens and you have 2 weeks of food and water, you must have, bank runs. We are back with the artificial intelligence of ChatGPT. Question: is it advisable to take money out of banks? Answer: in general, keeping money in a bank is a safe way to store funds and access them when needed. Banks have strict regulations and security measures to protect customers' funds. However, as a language model, I cannot give specific financial advice, as each financial situation is unique and may require different strategies. The decision to withdraw money from the bank should be based on your personal financial situation, including your level of risk, liquidity needs, and investment objectives. If you have concerns about the safety of your money in a bank, it is important to research and consider other investment options, such as mutual funds, bonds, or real estate investments. You can also talk to a financial advisor or investment expert to get personalized advice about your situation. In general, before making any financial decisions, it is important to do through research and consider all options and potential risks. End of the crisis. Question: when will the current financial crisis be over? Answer: as an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have the ability to predict the future with certainty, and the length and severity of the financial crisis can vary greatly depending on a number of factors such as economic conditions, government policies, and global events. It should also be noted that the term financial crisis can refer to different types of economic shocks, such as a stock market crash, a banking crisis, or a recession. The health crisis, for example, has caused a global economic downturn and triggered a series of financial challenges for individuals, businesses, and governments around the world. While there are signs of economic recovery in some countries, the pace and extent of recovery can vary widely depending on factors such as government policies and disruptions to global supply chains. It is therefore difficult to predict exactly when the current financial crisis will end and what its long-term effects will be. It is important to monitor economic indicators and trends, seek advice from financial professionals, and take steps to protect your financial well-being in times of uncertainty. Debt cancellation. Question: when will there be a universal debt jubilee? Answer: it is difficult to predict if and when there will be a universal debt jubilee, as it would require a major change in the world's economic and political systems. A debt jubilee is a large-scale debt cancellation, usually involving the cancellation of individual, corporate, and government debts. While debt jubilees have occurred in the past, they have usually been isolated to specific regions or societies, rather than on a universal scale. Some advocates of a universal debt jubilee argue that it could be a way to address economic inequality and alleviate poverty, but others argue that it would be difficult to implement fairly and could have unintended consequences for global financial systems. It should be noted that various debt relief programs and initiatives have been launched by international organizations and governments in the past, but with specific objectives and limited scope. Whether a universal debt jubilee will ever take place is uncertain and will probably depend on the number of factors, including economic conditions, political will, and social attitudes towards debt and financial systems in plural. Investing in gold. ChatGPT also analyzed the pros and cons of investing in the dollar versus gold. In quotes, gold is a traditional tool for hedging against inflation and storing value for the long term. However, the price of gold can fluctuate in the short term, and investing in gold can be less liquid than investing in dollars. He explained. Dollars, on the other hand, are a widely accepted reserve currency and a settlement and payment instrument. Dollars can be invested in stable and liquid government bonds. He added, while suggesting not to rule out a combination of gold and dollar investments to diversify the portfolio and reduce risks, following the principle of not putting all your eggs in one basket. Cryptocurrencies are an asset that doesn't have a proven track record and has not yet received comprehensive regulation by governments and banks. ChatGPT notes, there are risks when investing in cryptocurrencies, including high price volatility, regulation and hacker attacks, among others. Therefore, if you are considering cryptocurrencies as an investment alternative, it is important to analyze the risk carefully and make an informed decision according to your investment objectives and financial capacity, concluded the artificial intelligence bot. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.